choice. And if you are a child of God, there's a way the Lord will speak to you. You know, the Bible says that in the days of Enoch, that Enoch walked with God and he was no more. And sometimes when young people ask, so how do I make that right choice? I don't want to make mistake. I've seen so many marriages, la la la, blah 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 blah. No, Enoch walked with God. Enoch had a walk with God. I often encourage them, if you already have a walk with God, so God must be your priority. Not even who do I marry, who do I know. If God is your priority and you have a walk with God, there's a way the Lord will lead you. Because the day Enoch was going to be taken away, there was no ceremony. So the same way God speaks to you on ordinary day-to-day living, God can lead you in making the right choice. So God was involved. God, in fact, God was the main factor in Adam getting married, because God saw his need for a helpmeet, a help that meets his need. So every marriage is special, every marriage is unique. And that is why I discourage people comparing their marriage with other people's marriage. Okay? At the beginning of my own marriage, there are two things the Lord told me very specifically. And for these 37 years, it has served me so well. He said, first, I must never compare my spouse with another person, no matter how good, in quote, that person seems to be, because he has special assignment for each home. He has different plans for every home. So it will be very foolish of me to compare my spouse with the other person's spouse. If there are good things I see and I want it into my family, I can tell the Lord, this one is not yet in my family. All right? Like my husband used to say, he say, mo fẹ́ irú ìbùkún ni. That he used to tell God, when he sees something good, say, mo fẹ́ irú ìbùkún ni, meaning I want this kind of blessing in my home too. And if it's something that the Lord wants for you, it will happen. But if it's not supposed to even be part of your journey, then you have to forget about it. Okay? So the Lord was involved. In fact, the Lord was the main factor in that choice. And this is what we are saying. Marriage is not even about you and your spouse first. It's about God. Okay? So in verse 21, we see how God now brought Eve forth for Adam. It was God that was the pastor that conducted that marriage at that beginning. If we read verse 21, okay, let's go back a little to verse 20. And Adam gave name to all cattle and to the fowls of the air and to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found an helpmeet. Sometimes I imagine that maybe Adam will go and meet the elephant and say, this one is big, maybe he will be a good wife, and then the elephant will just blow that his trumpet. I guess Adam was not even thinking about marriage. I'm not sure he was thinking about marriage, because it was God that saw that need. Okay? So maybe if God were to allow him to make his own choice, he would have chosen an elephant or a lion. That one very bold and all of that. But there was no help me. There was none that looked like him. There was none that could understand Adam among the things that God created. And God saw that. We are not told that even Adam saw it. He was just having a good time in the garden. You know, we'll play with the lion a little, you move to the dog, you will play with the bird, you make the birds to fly and all of that. He was having a good time. We are not told that he saw the need, but God saw the need. And then verse 21, and the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And verse 22 said, and the rib which the Lord has taken from the man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. God brought Eve to Mr. Adam. It was God that brought her. It was God that created her. Every one of us who are married, we need to know that your wife or your husband was customized for you. That's your size. Some people wonder sometimes, have I not made mistake? Have I not made mistake in making this choice of this man or this woman? Probably, maybe we have chosen our spouses for different reasons that are not God's reasons. But even then, God is able to customize that spouse for you. God is able to help you both to understand that now that we are together, we are actually meant for each other. I've had people say often, it seems that we are not compatible. All right? Amazingly, opposite often attracts. That's what I have found out in my own marriage. Opposite often attracts. The man may be loud and the woman will be quiet. The man may be outgoing and the man, sometimes is the man. In my own case, sometimes I'm the one that not even too organized. Because our background and so many things are different. But God brought Eve to Adam. And then Adam now said, this is now the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. That tells us something. When God brought Eve to Adam, God didn't give Eve that name. The Bible only said he brought her unto the man. The female that he had created, he brought her unto the man. And Adam was so wild. He was sleeping. He was sleeping. And tell me, somebody that was created while you were sleeping, how will you even understand that person perfectly? I've had that kind of joke in many quarters. That it's like many men don't even understand their wives. Men seems to be at loss as to the makeup and the doings of women. But truly, you were not there when the person was created. She wasn't there when you were created. She was not even in existence to start with. But even you were not there when she was created. You were sleeping. You woke up from a sleep only to see this one that looks like you, that looks more like you than all the other animals. So if you look so well, but many times we don't look too deep. We just look on the surface. Oh, okay, it's like this, like this. Oh, she's like this, she's like that. She's not doing this one well. Oh no, it's not doing. My husband is not. But if we can take our time to look so well, to look very deeply, we'll be wowed. It's possible to be wowed in your marriage all of the time, to keep seeing beautiful things about each other. After all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And there's something that probably you first saw the first time you said, I'm going to go after this girl. Or as a girl, you say, I'm going to marry this man. There's even nothing that will stop me. When people begin to have issues in their homes, and I'm like, but there's something you saw. Ṣé ojú ẹ ti wá fọ́ ni ò rí mọ́ ni? You can ask the Lord to open your eyes again. Okay? Because sometimes you can start seeing things in funny ways. When you begin to have eye problem. I guess probably some of us are beginning to have eye problem because there's something that attracted you to that man. There's something that attracted you to that woman. So Adam was wild when God brought Eve to him, and he named Adam. That's very significant for us as men. Okay? Your wife will be what you want her to be. And it's not by coercion, it's not by force, it's not by, I have